So, figured, hey, I got the camera set up, might as well do my movie review while I'm standing up while I'm all hyper. And you should probably be able to tell by the title above, I'm reviewing the Avengerz. I know a lot of you don't really like my movie reviews, but I'm going to do them anyway, because a few of you might like them. Also, by the way, I will be putting the Wolf Run deck tech for this, but I have not filmed that yet, so no, movies are just as important as magic. That's not true. But I'm not going to make excuses about this movie. I trashed it. I said it was horrible before I ever saw it. I am going to make excuses. That's my excuse. I hated the concept of the Avengers. I hated the concept of any group of superheroes coming together. I thought a superhero was supposed to be able to protect humans. They weren't going to need help. They were above us. They were above everything. They were supposed to be able to handle on their own. And I thought the concept of every superhero coming together, I even asked my brother, I'm like, what threat is there that one superhero like Superman, and I know Superman's in DC and this is Marvel, okay, I'm not stupid, but what threat is there that possibly needs all these people to come together? So let me just get into it. It was a threat it was a pretty big threat that needed every superhero to come together. One sec, let me just come forward, tilt this down a bit. It was a threat. Loki from Thor, if you saw that movie, gets together a giant army of, I think they're frost giants, isn't that what they're called? I don't really know their actual name, but point is, it was a pretty humongous ass threat. And I trashed this movie before I ever saw it. I thought it was going to be horrible. I didn't think it was deserving of the top-rated, movie selling of all time, opening week. My brother went and saw it 5 times. He thought it was so good. And I just didn't think it would be that good. I didn't feel that way. I know that I like most of the heroes in this. I can't stand Captain America. Okay, but everyone else in there I like. And I found newfound respect for Captain America. And so, I think it also showed that even though they're superheroes, even though they have superpowers, they are going to struggle. They're going to have the same problems the rest of us have. Working together is a problem for a lot of us, including me. I've had those troubles. So, we had some common ground to relate to these heroes for. Tony Stark. I hate that guy. I hate Tony Stark. I never really liked Iron Man except for, of course, the concept of Iron Man. But I hated the guy, and I found to like him in this movie. I found to like Captain America in this movie, who I absolutely can't stand. And you're going to blaspheme. I watched Captain America. I hated the Captain America movie because I've already, read in the comics the whole Captain America's death. It didn't make sense how he survived World War II or how he survived this movie and somehow didn't die. But he does die to a random sniper who at one point just decides to pull out a gun and shoot him. It did not make sense to me. But even in this, I found Captain America has his flaws. Captain America, while being this American image, while being the hero from the past, was also, a guy who was a bit arrogant, who, treated himself a little bit higher after, he got the, injection to make him this powerful. But you also saw Tony Stark, who was always in it for himself, finally want to work on, work with a team, be a hero. And by the way, when they say Hulk dominated this movie, they weren't freaking kidding. Hulk took this movie and just beat the shit out of it and said, I'm going to be the star of this movie, because he was the star. I will say this about the movie. I've listed off its positives. I'm not done with that. But I will be also telling about negatives, because this movie did have its negatives. So that was just a really quick note. The positive, continuing with the positives, the Hulk the guy who played the Hulk, I don't know his name, Bruce Banner, had way more character than the Hulk in the movie Hulk. And I hated that movie. That movie was horrible. Like a lot of these superhero movies, I didn't, I just can't even say how much I actually cared that, you know, he had this problem. He really seemed like he was cursed with this problem, and it wasn't so over dramatic. You know, the Hulk is meant to be a brute, just an asshole. You know, he's meant to storm around and beat shit up and not really talk. And that's what this Hulk was like. This is what Hulk was supposed to be. You know, in the first movie, it was so terrible, you know, with the Hulk, because the Hulk talked way too much. It's like in Spider-Man 3, Venom talked way too much. He took his mask off all the time. They ruined that character. In this, they did it right. The Hulk didn't talk, he just beat the shit out of everything. He took down a dragon. He took down like 2 dragons. Loki, who couldn't be touched by Thor, Iron Man, Black Widow, you know, freaking half the people, and he just grabs him and just slams him on the ground 1 trillion times and then just walks away. Like, he could have killed him there. He could have probably done something horrible there. But he's just like, whatever, you're not even worth my time. That's how cool the Hulk was in this movie. At the end, I did like, you know, Tony Stark, you know, finally saying, I'm trying to save the world. I'm not in this for me, I'm in this for everyone. And Captain America, you know, showing his leadership role. And everyone was portrayed so well. Everyone's flaws were shown, and everyone answered their flaws. And I love this movie so much, and I would give it a 9 out of 10 without a doubt. And it deserved, okay, I don't think it's the best movie ever, but it deserved to be one of the top box office, you know, relayed movies ever. And I just can't say enough good things about this movie at the moment. I'm trying to, you know, hold myself back. I want to keep this video not like 30 minutes long, like, you know, my brother Alfito. Check him out, by the way. But point is, this is a great movie, but I have to start with the negative. 1, it took too long to get into the action. For God's sakes. I remember my dad said, you want to watch this with me? And he said it at 8 o'clock, or he said it at 7:30, I think. And I said, okay, but I don't want to miss all the Notre Dame game. By the time I got to the Notre Dame game, it was 4 minutes left, because for the first hour and 30 minutes, it was just bitching, complaining, endless stupidity, you know, all this horrible bitchiness. And I couldn't stand it. The beginning was way too slow. That should have taken an hour 15 top, not an hour and 40 minutes. We didn't need that much character development, thank you, my opinion. Secondly, I didn't like how easily Thor was a bitch in this movie. And I love Thor. He was my favorite hero in this movie. And he was a bitch, okay? They needed to make Thor a little bit better. I don't think that they portrayed him nearly as well as they should have. Thirdly, everyone seemed to be pinpoint perfect, for God's sakes, even the humans. They're, you know, every human that was on the good side did everything right. Their driving was excellent. Their aim was excellent. It didn't seem like anyone could do anything wrong in this movie. Even the villains, their plan was perfect. It went right according to plan, you know, aside from, like, you know, of course the Doctor somehow built a glitch, because even through his mind-controlled state, he could fight through it, and that was kind of, you know, bullshit, but whatever, you know, whatever about that. But I think everything went a little bit too perfectly for both sides. Even though early on there were fights, it's like no one could do anything wrong, aside from them fighting with themselves. Like, I get it, they're superheroes, they're meant to be perfect, but why does every plan have to go off without a hitch? Why do all the humans have to have the best aim we've ever seen, except for the ones who are on Loki's side? They can't shoot Captain America even though he's 2 freaking inches away. Like, Captain America's down like this on a railing, and there's a guy under him, and he's shooting at him, and he's going to his left and right. Shoot straight, you dumbass! You'll kill Captain America. Lord knows it's not that hard. Yeah, you know. And probably my least favorite thing about this movie, Hawkeye and Black Widow. Okay, you can argue that they belonged, okay? I barely wanted Captain America involved, and now you're gonna give me this bullshit considered heroes? No. Random dumbasses with weapons. Unless you're Batman, you're not a cool person if you don't have any actual superpowers, and you're certainly not a superhero. Okay. Tony Stark, the exception to the rule. But he has a robotic heart, for God's sakes. He has actual, you know, he at least puts on the illusion that he has superpowers. Hawkeye and Black Widow don't even act like they have superpowers. They're like, yeah, we're just people, but we're very acrobatic, so, you know, we're gonna, of course, be just as important as the Hulk, who can jump buildings, who can destroy things. Apparently, they can equal the Hulk. You know, Iron Man, who can fly, who can do all this shit, they can equal him because they can just steal some, you know, vehicle. I can't stand not real heroes. Those, like Daredevil. You didn't have any actual powers. You were just blind, you know? But whatever. Those are my complaints. Those are my negatives. I was gonna have some, you know, because I didn't like this movie going in. But we're gonna end this on the most positive note possible. Since I saw A Cabin in the Woods, I have not seen a single good movie. TV, movie theaters, anything. And this changed that. I would without a doubt put this in my top 5 movies of all time. This is without a doubt deserving of one of the highest honors. I have never been more entertained for the last hour of a movie. I have never been more enthralled with the acting in a movie. Okay, Loki sucked, but still. And I've never been more curious to see a sequel in recent memory, in my recent 16-year-old memory, than this. This movie is absolutely great. If you had any doubts about it, take this from a person who hated this movie with all of his heart before he had ever seen it, and now is telling you about its praises. If you have not seen this movie, if you have no desire to see this movie, but if you like movies, if you like action in general, if you like character development, if you like seeing flaws in those who are considered perfect, if you like seeing a part of yourself, if you like seeing, you know, some of the most amazing, just beautiful things you'll ever see, these monsters, this portal, these scenes of action, these creatures, then I beg of you, go watch the Avengerz. Go watch the Avengerz. This was without a doubt one of the better movies I've seen in a long time. And I just want to say, I cannot wait for Avengerz 2 with Thanos. Or I hope there is, at least. But until until all my videos are out, until another video comes after this, until I am done with all the ranting that is left in my body, this is Falcon Naruto signing off for now. But I hope you look forward to the next video after seeing me go crazy about a movie I thought I was going to hate. This is Falcon Naruto, and I'll see you later.